Maurice is no ordinary golden retriever. He's a companion dog, carefully chosen and highly trained to assist people like Phil Bauer.
Oh, yes, yes.
One of thousands of U.S. soldiers traumatized by war and maimed for life.
That's great.
Phil Bauer lost his leg fighting in Iraq and now suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder.
I deal with extreme headaches. I deal with confusion. I deal with anger. I deal with, all these other symptoms.
Phil's tour in Iraq ended when his helicopter was shot down outside Fallujah.
And I said the Lord's Prayer. And, braced for whatever impact. I'd pretty much kissed my butt goodbye. I landed kind of on my side, and the Rafausen landed right on top of my legs, right on, basically above my knees.
Pinned under a burning helicopter for over 5 hours, it's a miracle that Phil survived.
Good boy. Ready?
When he came home, he faced a new ordeal. Unable to deal with his post-traumatic stress, he had an emotional breakdown, attempted suicide, and lost his wife and children.
I know the level of monster that I was at times. I spent, in between the 5 years I was home, I spent 9 months almost locked in a room, avoiding my family, avoiding everybody, avoiding life, just to not hurt anybody and to keep myself safe.
Last year, Phil was invited to come here, to East Coast Assistance Dogs, or ECAD, a breeding and training facility for service dogs. That day was one of Phil's happiest since returning from war.
The first time you kind of get picked by the dog and you have a feeling the relationship is going to work is that first time you really say, the dog's name and come. Or they're in a big group and the dog just kind of runs up to you. Like, yeah, I kind of like you, I'm going to stay around.
How's that feel?
Well, it puts you on the top of the world.
These golden and Labrador retrievers are trained to pick up objects, help with balance, open doors, or push alarms if a veteran is unconscious or injured.
Yes! Good boy. Good dog. Good dog.
But they also help with the emotional and psychological disabilities that are common in war veterans.
Yes. Yes.
The dogs even learn military commands like cover and block, and respond by acting as a safe barrier between the veteran and the public.
Basically, my dog is my lifeline to being human. That he allows me to be in public and not overreact. Helps me maintain focus, helps me do things that I might not do on my own if I didn't have him.
So let me tell you what your responsibility as a handler is.
Lou Picard and her husband are co-founders of ECAD and are pioneers in this new therapeutic field.
Some of these guys come back and they're getting divorced. Okay, they've been gone too long, they're not the same person as left. How could you be the same person who left?
Let's go.
Their heart has been sealed. So letting a person come in and saying, no, I love you, this or that. Yeah, but what strings are attached to that? What if I, have a nightmare in the middle of the night and hit you? Does that mean you don't love me anymore? I didn't mean to do that. Okay? With the dog, there's no strings attached.
Luis Montalvan is a decorated military captain and was one of the first war veterans to be given a companion dog.
Let's go. Good boy. Come on. To have this highly trained, loving companion by your side all the time is enabling. And it's enabled me to travel, to visit friends, to visit family, to go to school, to participate in advocacy efforts, to help other people, and that's that's all I ever wanted to do. Off. Good boy.
Captain Montalvan served 2 tours in Iraq and sustained life-changing injuries.
Yes. Oh.
He suffered a spinal wound in close combat and traumatic brain injury from explosive attacks. It is literally the stuff of nightmares.
Yes. Stress. Yes. Shake.
Like so many war veterans, not all Captain Montalvan's battle scars are obvious. He struggles daily with post-traumatic stress disorder. Tuesday helps him balance, both physically and emotionally.
I used to wake up in the cold sweat and have most nights be filled with intermittent sleep. I was hypervigilant, and I didn't want to be amongst crowds, and so therefore sort of relegated myself to my apartment. In getting Tuesday, in the fall of 2008, it opened up a whole new world to me, and it liberated me in a way.
A person who has honored us by fighting for our country needs to be respected.
Louis Montalvan has spent the last 2 years advocating for public funds to pair soldiers with dogs like Tuesday.
As I speak out on behalf of people with disabilities,
Along with Democratic Senator Al Franken, Louis helped shepherd in the Service Dogs for Veterans Act.
from resources that could only include the blessings and boundaries of a service dog. It was almost universally accepted and voted for by Congress, and it was passed this past September.
Come on, girl. Let's get it. Tug, tug. Tug, Sierra. That's it.
The bill means that training centers like East Coast Assistance Dogs will be busier than ever. And Lou Picard has plenty of help. She has turned ECAD into an outreach center to provide vocational training to troubled youth.
That's it. Drop it. Yes. Good dog.
It's orphans and juvenile delinquents who do the dog training.
Let's go, Sierra. Look.
Haran is from Afghanistan, but he grew up in the United States. By 14, he was in juvenile detention, but now he's learning skills to keep him out of trouble.
Get it, Sierra. That's what you hold. Before I came here, I had no patience. But with the dog, I had to have patience. If I had no patience, I would go nowhere with the dog.
That's a hold. Hold.
Hey.
Lou Picard believes it's a learning experience both for the dogs and for those who teach them.
It teaches affection. It teaches them to be patient. It teaches them to understand that everything doesn't come immediately. You have to work toward it.
You want to play? Going it?
And Marcus has found a new sense of pride.
It makes me feel very good, because I can say I have the brag rights to say I trained that dog, and the dog is doing so well, and it's helping somebody that really needs it. And now it makes me proud of myself, because I helped someone. I helped the dog, and I helped someone.
A few days after my first visit, ECAD holds its annual fundraiser. Bill Bauer's job today is to greet people, a job he says is a far cry from the days where he couldn't even leave his room.
It's definitely comforting when you get around the family and friends, just to be able to sort of relax. That's definitely something that wouldn't have happened, you know, at least 2 years ago. It's been a long process.
And this would be Blondie, one of our little puppies.
Let me see you hug your favorite puppy.
With more traumatized veterans returning home, these puppies will have a vital role to play in the future.